slow, live it up, watching time go. Planning moves, things solid to this cheat code. Get your money, make it big, fuck being broke. Get your money, make it big, fuck being broke. Live slow, live it up, watching time go. Making moves, things solid to this cheat code. Get your money, make it big, fuck being broke. Get your money, make it big, fuck being broke. This how it is, the mission's Benjamins. And fuck the drama and the bullshit, we ain't little kids. My circle small, but my riders heart, they never quit. Get your money, keep it gangsta, solid, straight legit. Never switch like the real ones that die for this. It's fucked up, but this is truly how it is. I hope you're ready if you're picking this like full of sin. No turning back, I represent my Vario to the end. Fuck the fakes and the snakes and everyone that hates. I'm not phased, I won't break, bitch, I'll never.
You are now watching M.O.D. Entertainment.
Now, continuing the list of all town varios, we actually have to slide on through to the area of Orange County. Specifically more, the area of Fullerton. The east side of Fullerton, to be exact. The Vario east side Fullerton is known as the Vario Tokers town. So that's FTT, Fullerton Tokers town. No, has no connection to the movie, The Duke of Aurora, none of that, you know what I mean? And they didn't get their name from that movie either, because this Vario, I know people say he's been around, 40s, 50s, no. This Vario, at least what I was told, homie, this is what I was told. This Vario goes back to the 1925, 1930-ish. Around there is when this neighborhood was established in Orange County. People have to keep this in mind. Orange County is an area that has old-ass Varios, too. It's just not LA. It's just not, none of these San Diego. Not just those kind of areas. Areas like Orange County, the IE, and places like that have old Varios, too. You know what I mean? Because Orange County was right here in the mix. I mean, it's not that far from LA, you know what I mean? So, like, all the problems that were happening in California, it was happening, like, equally spread out. You know what I'm saying? Because Orange County back then was a beat-up town, homie. There ain't nothing right here. I mean, estaba cabrón, broken down houses. I mean, it was, it was rough, rugged, and raw. You know what I'm saying? Not only that, everyone knows this, that Orange County has always been an area that has had a lot of racism. It is where a lot of white supremacist groups are. This is their stronghold. You know what I mean? It's a stronghold for even the KKK. So there's a lot of, diversity here. You know what I mean? And a lot of tensions between groups. You get what I'm saying? So when Hispanics were coming over here and working, I mean, you could already imagine, homie, they were getting mistreated. There was only certain sections that they were allowed to roam around. They weren't allowed to leave these sectors and shit like that, homie. Pretty much treated like caged dogs. And they couldn't call the cops because, the cops, obviously, they weren't helping these guys, you know what I'm saying? They would even help them get beat up and shit like that. So these people had to, get groups together to pretty much protect their own race, you know what I'm saying? Because they had enough of this shit. So this area right here was known as the East Side Fullerton, obviously Tokers Town, because at that era, to ease the mind of all the desmadre, marijuana, there was some fields right there, a lot of people were toking it, dog. They were toking it, you know what I'm saying? So that's they became the Vario, Tokers Town, East Side Fullerton, and it's an old Vario. Not only that, it is a large neighborhood. I was told that this neighborhood is roughly more than 350 members to the Tokers Town neighborhood. You get what I'm saying? So they already been right here for a long time, large, and continue to roam around. All of the east side of Fullerton is where you're able to find this Vario doing their thing. Now, for the next Vario, we have to slide on through to the area of Long Beach. Yes, Long Beach has another town's neighborhood. This one being a little bit different, and it has no connection to the neighborhood that I just talked about, which is the Vario Long Beach TTF, standing for Tokers Town Flats. Toker Town's Flats was a Vario that was located right here in the Golden Projects, on Daisy and 4th. That's where the neighborhood was located at. Right where Barrio Small Town is at. I was told that in the 1960s, this neighborhood established itself. They were known as Toker Town, and obviously flats, referring to the projects. So that was the name of their Vario. They were always small. I was told that it got no more than 30 members. So, little bit less than 30 members to their neighborhood. So a lot of their homies had gotten busted, moved out, you know, shootings because they were going at war with the varrios right there. So, you know, roughly during the 70s, like the early 70s, you know, por allí, you know, there was hardly any of these guys around. And that's when the Vario small town started, right? And it started right there in the project. So pretty much, you know, with time, the Tokers town flats, you know, died out. You know what I mean? And then that became the area, you know, of Vario small town. You know, so because that neighborhood, you know, is no longer around. You still will catch a hit up maybe here and there, and you might bump into an OG from there, you know, here or there, or maybe they have a youngster here and there. But from what I was told from an actual member from the Tokerstown flats is that they're mostly older cats, and you know what I mean? They, you know, but you know, occasionally you will have a homie that gets out and still has that mentor or their nephew or some shit like that, you know, he said. But you know, but yeah, that was their original area and their playground right there in Long Beach. Now, for the next neighborhood, we actually have to head on down to the area of Compton. Compton. Now, this is a crew that I was told it became a neighborhood, but I was told that it was still a crew. So take that what you want from it. You know what I'm saying? I do know that they're located not just in Compton, but they're located in several other places. You know what I mean? Like Oklahoma and places like that. They have homies that moved over there and started it over there, and it became a hood over there, and it grew in numbers and blah 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 blah. You get what I'm saying? But their original ground is right here in Compton, which is the Vario LTR. LTR translating to Vario Town Rifa. Loc as in loced out, you know, loco, you know, you a loc, you know, so Town Rifa. And they're located right here in Compton is where you're able to find them, you know. Right here, I know that they're clicked up with another crew called LBK. So it's LTR, LBK, you get what I mean? Now, right here in Compton, I was told that there are roughly about 30-something members. In Oklahoma, I was told, at least of what I was told, that there are about like 80 to 80-something members over there. And that they have other chapters starting in other locations. I couldn't find the list of the areas that homie had told me, you know, I had wrote them down, places. But anyhow, you know, they shot me pictures. I got in contact with homies, you know, over there in those locations just to verify. So, you know, so this neighborhood, you know, they got homies around, you know what I mean? So that's that Vario, you know, LTR, but this is where they originated from, and they have no connection to the other LTR neighborhood that I will be mentioning. This is the Town Rifa right here, holding it down for theirs. Now, as we slide on through back to Orange County, but not just to Orange County, but specifically to the area of Costa Mesa. Like I said, Costa Mesa is an area that has neighborhoods in it. You know, I see people trying to say that they don't and blah, blah, blah. When Costa Mesa is home to like about 7 different barrios, you know what I mean, that are well known, you know, throughout this area. So we're going to be sliding on through to the west side of Costa Mesa. And the west side of Costa Mesa is where we're able to find this next barrio on the list, which is the Vario LTR. And no, it's not the same as the one that we just covered in Compton. This one is, you know, being different. This one actually standing for Little Town Rifa. This one is known as Little Town Rifa, while the other one is known as Town Rifa, and they have no connections to each other. You know what I mean? They just use the same abbreviation, just slightly different in name. You know, while one is Town, this is Little. And yes, it is a real barrio right here in Costa Mesa, but it doesn't have that long that it's been a neighborhood. You know what I mean? And I was told that yes, it used to be a crew before that, you know, transitioned itself into, you know, a neighborhood. Right here in this area. And I was told that they're roughly only like about, you know, 40 to 45 members. So, you know, a little bit more on the smaller side. But nonetheless, homie, a real neighborhood that does real things right here in the OC. You know what I mean? Despite what individuals are going to want to say, like I said, I never come over here to, you know, falsify or none of that. You know what I mean? Just here to spit the facts, hate it or love it. It is what it is. Cause like I said, don't get it confused. You know, the area of Costa Mesa thinking that ain't nothing cracking right here. You know what I mean? Cause you got a bunch of neighborhoods right here, you know? From the family mob to the fearless crowd to the Aztec pride to a bunch of barrios, you know what I mean? Hey, it gets on and cracking right here in Costa Mesa, homie. Like, don't ever get it twisted. You know, looks could deceive, you know, and is a perfect example because the Little Town Rifa barrio has been right here doing it and continue to still be doing it and putting theirs on the map. Now the next neighborhood on the list. Now for this one, we still have to maintain right here in the area of Orange County, but this time actually sliding on through to the city of Orange. Right here in the city of Orange is where we're able to find one of these other town neighborhoods that often gets forgotten that it's a town's neighborhood, that, you know, often gets forgotten that it's a neighborhood right here in general, you know, because, you know, it's roughly always been a small neighborhood, and it doesn't have that, that it's been around that long, you know what I mean? At least I was told, late 90s, early 2000s when this neighborhood was established. It used to be a crew, at least this is what I was told, that became a neighborhood, and it is known as the Vario BTR. BTR translating to Vario Browntown Rifa. Yes, Browntown Rifa. I do understand that people were getting confused thinking that stood for Browntown Locos and different stuff. Although there is, you know, more neighborhoods that use the title Browntown, which I will be covering. So, you know, just be patient. Just like I'll be covering more little town neighborhoods, you know, same with the Browntowns, because there's that many. There's a lot of them, and they have no connection to each other. They're all different gangs, just similar names, you know, like for this one. And no, this one has no relations to the BTR, in the valley. That's Burbank pt3 of Rifa. This is Browntown Rifa. So there's a difference in that as well. You know, a lot of these neighborhoods use, you know, similar, you know, lettering and you know, the names, you know, slightly sound the same, but they have no connections to each other or none of that. You know what I mean? This is the Browntown Rifa neighborhood. I was roughly told that there were roughly about 50 to 55 members, you know, but no more than 60, at least what I was told, you know, to the Browntown Rifa in right here in the city of Orange, and have been right here in the city of Orange and continue to be right there, representing for theirs and holding it down for the BTR right there. Now, as we slide on through right here to the area that is known as the Desert Empire, to the area that is referred to as the Desert Hot Springs. Now, the Desert Hot Springs is an area where we're able to find another one of these town neighborhoods. You know, despite people, you know, often say, you know, they ain't no things up there. No, there's neighborhoods up here. It gets on and cracking. Like I said, they could exist anywhere. This area being no different right here. You know what I mean? Because it does get on and cracking, because these are not the only neighborhoods that are right here. You know, you have other gangs within the area that, you know, they go at it with, like the West Drives are right here, the True Crime Boys. You know, you got several different varrios, you know, within the area. Right here to the neighborhood that is known as BTL. BTL translating to Vario Browntown Locos. Yes, Vario Browntown Locos has been a neighborhood that has been established right here since the 90s, you know. So it's not an old school Vario, but none of these Varios, you know, are that old school, you know what I'm saying? But nonetheless, homie, you know, they managed to establish themselves right there. You know, this one being one of the more larger neighborhoods, you know, within this site. I was told at least, you know, that the Browntown neighborhood was about, you know, 50 to 70 members. So, you know, that makes them, you know, pretty large for this area. That's a large amount, and their territory is everything that's from Palm Drive all the way to Park Lane. Their territory still extends all the way to Verbena Drive, and from Verbena Drive all the way to Camino Avenue, all the way down to Bubbling Wells Road, and from Bubbling Wells Road all the way to Dillon Road, and then back to Palm Drive. So everything that's in the middle is their barrio. So throughout throughout Camino, throughout that's both that's all, throughout all of the caminos right there. You know what I mean? Since, you know, all the streets happen to have the same damn name. You know what I mean? It just be like that sometimes right here, over here. You know, close to the Mission Springs Park as well. It's where you're able to find this barrio hanging out, chilling, doing their thing, and, you know, maintaining themselves. You know what I'm saying? Because it does get on and cracking, because they're not that far from the West Drive and the True Crime Boys. I mean, those neighborhoods are just right there too. So it's like, man, it gets chaotic. You know what I mean? There's heavy tensions between these barrios. You know, it does get on and popping, but the Browntown Locos, real neighborhood, that's right here and continue to still represent for theirs. Another town's barrio that we could find right here in the SGV. For this one, we actually have to make our way and slide on through to West Covina. To the area of West Covina. West Covina is actually an area where you're able to find one of these town's barrios that people often forget about, which is the Vario OTK. Vario OTK translating to Vario Old Town Criminals. Old Town Criminals is a neighborhood that has already been established right here since the 80s when this neighborhood was established. And it is a real neighborhood, despite what people are going to want to say. They're going to say, no, it's not. It ain't a fake. like I said, I'm never here to wolf it, lie, make up, invent, none of that stuff. You know what I mean? They could hate it or love it. The facts don't lie. The facts are the facts. It is what it is. You know what I mean? I only come to spit the facts. And now, the OTK, Old Town Criminals. The Old Town Criminals have no connection to the other, Old Towns. I was told that they did, but then I was told that they didn't. So take what you want from that. And their vital is everything that's right here on the old town, side of, West Covina, the Old Town side. Their territory is pretty extensive. You know what I mean? They got a massive amount of, territory. That's everything from Hacienda Boulevard. Their territory still extends all the way, passing the DMV, all the way to where you hit Covina Parkway. And from Covina Parkway, their territory extends to Garvey Avenue, to Willow Avenue, and back on down. So everything that's in the middle is considered their barrio, throughout Orange Avenue, throughout Sunset Avenue, throughout California Avenue, all of that is their territory. Everything that's in the middle, everything that slices throughout Merced Avenue as well. You know what I mean? That's all considered their territory, their barrio, throughout Camarón. I think that's the name. I think I forgot the name of that damn freaking boulevard that was right there, or the avenue. But that's right there. You know what I'm saying? Close to the DMV, is where you're able to find this barrio, you know what I mean? Close also to the West Covina Skate Park, that's, in the heart of the hood as well. But that's what's known as the OTK, the Old Town Criminals, real neighborhood, you know what I mean? And this neighborhood was never a large neighborhood, it was always, at least from what I was told, that there were roughly about 40 to 45 members to them. So, small in numbers, but nonetheless, homie, individuals that were right there doing their thing and continue to still do their thing and represent for theirs in the OTK. Another neighborhood that we have right here. Now for this matter, we actually have to slide on through to the SGV. You already know the San Gabriel Valley, home to a gang of neighborhoods. And we're going to be heading to the section that is close to the South San Jose Hills, to that area of the SGV, where we could find the Vario Townsman. Yes, Vario Townsman, like a townsman. Townsman's obviously, a person from the town and, etc. And this is a real neighborhood right here in the SGV, the Vario TSM, Townsman. It's been a neighborhood that has been already right here since the 70s. I was told that this Vario was established right here, the real deal, Holyfield. It's a real gang, you know what I'm saying? And their territory is pretty extensive because you can find them, everything that's throughout Azusa, and Azusa all the way to Valley Boulevard. Their territory still extends all the way to Giano Avenue, and from that I would have to say it extends all the way to Camino Grande. So it's pretty, everything in the middle is considered their barrio. It's pretty extensive. You know what I'm saying? So it's all those back streets. Well, we're talking about a lot of homes, because we're talking about throughout Sandalwood Avenue, throughout Winton Avenue, throughout Beckton Avenue, throughout Northam Street, throughout all of that, throughout Brantford Avenue, throughout Harley Street. All of that is what's considered, their barrio, which is, pretty extensive. And, this is a real neighborhood, homie, that do real things. You definitely hear about the TSM neighborhood. Now, I was at least told that this barrio is roughly more than 95 members to the Townsman gang. So almost 100. Or roughly about 100 members to the gang. So, I mean, not as large as like gangs like Puente and stuff like that, but still, nonetheless, homie, there's still, enough manpower to be making noise, you know what I'm saying? It be cracking right here in the SGV, on this side. Because, you got a bunch of neighborhoods, roughly around this area, close to them. Because you got the East Side Dukes that are just right there as well. You got the, certain cribs, says like the West Side Hustlers. You got the Valinda Flats. You got Puente that's just right there. So it gets chaotic, homie. You know what I mean? It does get on and cracking, Right here, it ain't no joke, like I said. But that's what's up with the Vario Townsman right there.
Thank you for watching M.O.D Entertainment. Make sure you like and subscribe.